A little bit about how coastal flood zones are different from regular flood zones or other special flood hazard areas. But before we get started today, remember, if you've got questions about flood education, flood zone changes, or flood insurance, make sure to visit our website, floodinsuranceguru.com. You can also check out our YouTube channel where we do these daily flood education videos. Remember, we have an educational background in flood mitigation, which means we can help you understand flood risks like this right here, your flood insurance, and mitigating your property long term to help you minimize flood losses and flood premiums. So let's talk about today's topic. What we're talking about are coastal flood zones. How are they different from like the flood zone we're standing in right here, which is like a ravine flood zone? Now, ravine flood zones is actually where the majority of flooding takes place. But on these coastal flood zones, also known many times as V zones or velocity zones, they take into something into consideration that aren't considered in flood zones like this. So what is that? What we're really talking about in these coastal areas is wave action, storm surge, the impacts that wave action can have in these areas and why these areas are treated differently. You know, as we stand here and speak right now, if you have a property in a flood zone, FEMA currently uses replacement costs as a big factor in rates. But in areas like this right now, replacement cost is not used as a factor when it comes to calculating an insurance rate through the National Flood Insurance Program. Now that might change at any time, especially with Risk Rating 2.0 scheduled to come out in 2021 with the National Flood Insurance Program. But that's how coastal flood zones are a little bit different than your regular flood zones, ravine flood zones, like Special Flood Hazard Area A or AE, which are your 100-year flood zones. So if you've got questions about coastal flood zones, non-coastal flood zones, click below to visit our website, floodinsuranceguru.com. Remember, we have an educational background in flood mitigation, which means we can help you understand flood risks like this right here, your flood insurance, and mitigating your property long term to help you minimize flood losses and flood premiums. Thank you.